Hi, viewers. Welcome back to another episode of the Renewalism Show. Today is a very special episode. Why? Because it's my favorite subject. We're going to be talking about energy. Some of you who've been with us for a few episodes, not too long back, we had the chief of the All India Institute of Medical Sciences, a very interesting discussion on Western medicine, and he was so kind to agree that the Western medicine really doesn't have the solutions to what we have created as lifestyle disorders. That medicine was created to handle traumatic disorders and accidents and infections and stuff like that. But we've put ourselves in a position where we stopped following some commonsensical basics, and that whole industry of wellness, which we now recognize as important, was actually something that we've had in our ancient Oriental wisdom all along. So, just for those of you who are joining in for the first time today, renewalism is about getting to renew the planet, getting to renew ourselves at a mind, body, spirit level, and getting to renew the man made systems that have sometimes, in many cases, in fact, put us in a corner. Stuff like pollution and garbage and the schooling system, and even the way we look upon medicine. So there was a different medical system in ancient times and a completely different one now. Today, I'm joined by, let me just also share with you what is renewalism for those of you coming in. It'll just scroll across the screen. And I see this becoming a big movement, all of which is captured in this book next to me, the book called Renewal, which was launched this month and is something that you could pick up on renewalism.com, because every day we are having a discussion on one of the aspects of this book which can be incorporated into our daily lives. And today we have with us Kapila Taneja, and she's an expert in energy. She's mastered various modalities of energy, including theta healing and Reiki. She's a Reiki master, and she's also a life coach. So I'm going to be talking to her from the point of view of what it would take for us to change at a human consciousness level to effect self healing. And I'm going to start from a quote from this book. This is the book. You can grab a copy at Amazon, and you'll find the Amazon links worldwide at renewalism.com. So here in one of these insects, it says the body's capacity to recover and replenish is phenomenal, but we suppress it with chemicals. Now, chemicals is exactly what the good doctor and I talked about. Why do we suppress with chemicals, and why is this capacity, phenomenal capacity to replenish, not being recognized so much anymore? And how do we, as people who work with energy, look upon it? Let me call upon Kapila and have her tell us what she thinks about this. Hi, Kapila. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Hello, Sandeep. Hello, everyone. Yeah. So,
Good, great to
yes,
see you.
Sandeep.
So, question of the hour is, why are we not making more use of our self-reliant ability?
Yes, that's right. And as you read this quote from the book, I have started reading your book few days back, and I just be quoting one example from your book only, Sandeep. That there are gurus sitting with the disciple or the people and telling them that whenever there is a king sitting in his court and a messenger comes to tell bring the message from the other king, you won't shoot the messenger, will you? Because if you shoot the messenger, it's not going to solve the purpose. So what do? You actually send a message through the messenger that you are powerful enough to fight it out. Same thing we are
Right.
doing with our body when we are giving it chemicals. The body has the capacity to restore itself. It only gives you symptoms, it gives you signals that I am not okay. What is disease? Dis-ease. The body is not at ease, but somehow the medical facilities at times are only killing the symptoms of it, not going down to the root cause of it. And as far as this lifestyle disorder goes, I think if the doctors are telling us again and again about this and covering most of the diseases in this spectrum, that we have to change the lifestyle, that means there is some change we need to do in the way we live our life physically, mentally, and emotionally. So I have practiced so many modalities. My experience, says that the body has the capacity to even heal your depression, your if you are inflexible, your arthritis, your spondylitis, your cancer also. And I do get these kind of patients, I do get these kind of clients, so they have been using different modalities to basically work on themselves without taking, or very mildly taking, any type of external medicines.
Absolutely. Now we have a little technical problem here, Kapila. We, I think, can hear you. Viewers, were you able to hear her? Because we've lost your video track suddenly. But
I
I think we are all able to hear you. So if you're able to hear Kapila, just say yes. Meanwhile, we'll just restore the video. And while we do that, I think we are ready to do that. There we are. Kapila, I hope we can continue to hear you as well. Say something. Yeah, we can see you again. But can we hear you? No, we can't hear you now. Gosh, we have run into a technical disorder here. Maybe we need to log in once again because the audio has gone out. Are you able to hear me? All right. So evidently, yes. So while we can see Kapila, we're not able to hear her. And earlier we could hear you when your video had gone out. So maybe we just let me just check once here. Yes, you're back. Thank you, viewers. But I'm just trying to restore the audio. Kapila, can you say something again now? Now there is no sound. Yes, we run into a sound problem suddenly, and we'll just fix it. Just give us a moment. Maybe you log out and log back in, and we'll have you come as before. Really sorry, viewers. Technical issues, but not a problem. Sorry, my voice is also breaking. Yeah. Meanwhile, how is my audio, viewers? Because I can just share a little more about the paragraph. Very interesting point she was making. That she's back. Are you able to hear me clearly?
able to change the camera.
Right. We've got to change the camera, but I can hear you now again. Are you all able to hear me? Right, Kapila, you're back, and we could hear you while the camera was being fixed. Are you able to hear me? Oh dear. So evidently we still can't hear you. It's either we see you or we hear you, except when we started the show. So we are definitely able to were able to hear you while the camera was on the other side, and it's a very peculiar problem. This is something I really don't know how to advise you on, because we've never encountered this before. But let's just see, if you switch off your video, would your audio come back? Would you be if you say something now? Okay, my voice is breaking also. There seems to be some fault in the broadcast today. Um, Kapla, your video is off, so let's see if we can hear you. So we can see you. Is my audio coming across, viewers? All right, but yours is not. Okay, so viewers, as you can imagine, this episode is going to last a little longer than the usual ones, because we're going to give you everything that we can get out of Kapila as soon as we sort this technical snag. Meanwhile, it is a very interesting thing that she started to say, which was about the messenger. And she went beyond the book, in fact, because while the book does mention the importance of not shooting the messenger, the fact is that our symptoms are mere messengers. And if we take tablets for them, then what we're doing is we're suppressing them. And as soon as she's back, I'm going to talk to her about the suppression, because what really does it do to us? And that was quite interesting, wasn't it? So Kapila, if you can hear me again now, we are hoping that we can hear you too. Say something. We can definitely see you again. I do see you speak, but I don't see you. I don't hear you. So it just popped off for whatever reason. No, we are not able to hear you.
Can you hear me now, Sandeep?
Are you back?
Yeah, can you?
Yay! It is such a relief.
Technology.
It's like coming out from the other end of the tunnel.
Right.
Wonderful. Viewers, I hope you can hear both of us
Yeah,
again.
hopefully.
Just put in a yes, and that'll be great. Wonderful. So you led us down a track of the symptoms, which is really interesting. And the question was, while the symptom is the messenger, I have, in fact, two questions, and you could take them one by one. One, how do we get into this habit of popping a pill for a symptom? I mean, why does that happen from the perspective of the life coach you are? You know, you would obviously prefer people don't do that. Two, what is it in energy that we have which could serve as quick fixes, which people on the show and viewers of the show after uh, we finished going live, what they can actually practice and perhaps even comment on after they do it?
So, Sandeep, first of all, taking pills. Again, we all love to take shortcuts, isn't it? You're going on a trip with your family, you love to take shortcuts, na? We have to do some work, we love to take a shortcut.
Right.
And this technology is also a shortcut we have found for ourselves rather than, human to human interaction. I always quote one example, Sandeep, that the people who used to, if you remember your childhood, people used to sit outside their homes a lot, spending time talking to people, telling them about everything about their life. That was not the shortcut. They were giving them more time. They were not just inside their house. Did we ever heard of this word depression or anxiety or stress at that time? No, because that was not the
Never.
shortcut. The pills, the medicines were not that much, or the diseases to say, were not that much prevalent, because there was a human to human interaction. But now the life, we have made the life so busy that we really want to pop up a pill even for a small headache. I meet so many people who take painkillers on the drop of the hat without even realizing that how it's going to actually destroy their liver or any other part of the body, because every medicine you're popping in do have a side effect. Because I think it's more to do with your shortcut you want to take in your life, and then of course working only on the symptoms. And it's basically coming from unawareness also. Like, not everybody knows that there, yes, and it's
Unawareness.
like not everybody knows that there could be a, some underlying reason also behind it. And when I come to energy world, what is energy? A lot of people ask me that what is energy healing. Energy is what? Energy is the emotion, thoughts, feeling I carry about myself. That's it. For me, spirituality, healing, life coaching, it's all about I, me, myself. If you are sorted in your head, in your heart, rest everything will be taken care of. Rest everything will be taken care of. So as a life coach, I would just like to suggest everyone a very 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 important technique which I use with all my clients and all my reiki practitioner is, how do you treat yourself? That is very important. What do you talk to yourself? How do you talk to yourself? What do you feed yourself? And when I say feed, it means including all your senses. It's not only about the food you're eating, what you're listening to, what kind of people you're meeting to, what you're seeing throughout the day, what kind of stuff are you reading. So if you are feeding yourself, something which is in higher vibrations, which makes you not only a positive thinker but a positive being. These two terms are very different. Positive thinking, okay, you open the social media in the morning, it's bombarded with positive thoughts and quotes and all. However, the purpose is to convert into positive being, which is 24 into 7 your joyful state. And for me, that mainly comes from what you feed to yourself. And if I say it in two words, it would be self talk. How do you talk to yourself? That matters a lot. So energy is all about your own being. Somehow I how I look at spirituality and other things is that, let's not point finger on others. Even if you want to change people and everything around, it's a very good thing. You can go ahead. Yeah, we all have some purpose in life to make other people's life also better. That's perfectly good. However, the first and the foremost responsibility is towards our own self. We really need to look into that how much care and how much love we are giving to ourselves. That is very important. And that is, for both male and female. It's not that only female are depriving themselves of this, the males are also being deprived of this. And so when we are carrying these kind of emotions, Sandeep, they do create a blockages in our body. Because when we are talking to ourselves in a way that is not very respectful to ourselves, not very loving to ourselves, It's been because of there's been some pattern and belief might be carrying from our childhood. And when we are continuously feeding ourselves
Right.
with those kind of emotions and feelings and thoughts that I'm not worth it, I can't do that, this is not the way life should be, that means creating resistance which turns into blockages in your mind and eventually into your body also. That's where the energy work actually comes, which helps you to release those blockages from the mind and then from your body also. That's how it works.
Very, very true. In fact, we have some comments that are saying very well explained. I want to play the devil's advocate though. While you know I completely agree with you, I come across a lot of people, and I'm sure a lot of our viewers also harbor that kind of an idea, that it's right, self talk is great, but at some point in time you've got to be realist, and you have to actually have a preparedness for things going wrong. So you talk to yourself about what you can do when they go wrong, and it's like building a shock absorber for when something goes wrong, that I knew it, I was sort of ready for it. How do you resolve this paradox? Because on one hand, you want to be just focusing on positive being, and on the other hand, there's the shock absorber aspect and being
Yes.
realistic about things.
See, Sandeep, the way we react talks a lot about our personality. And that personality has not been developed in 1 or 2 years or maybe 6 months. No, we have been, nurturing that personality for years. So when I talk about self talk, again, improvising that is also a process. In today's session, if I say it for 20 minutes, self talk, of course, you're not going to, pick it just after 20 minutes. Okay, I'm going to improvise it. For example, any exercise you do, you go to a gym, you do some kind of a diet, you go for any change in routine, you go to a new country, new job, you take time to adjust. So the mind has been conditioned in a particular way maybe for years. So when you have to work on your self talk, that will also take some time to improvise. And I totally vouch for some practices for that, some daily practices we need to follow. See, Sandeep, I look at like this, that okay, the challenges are there. Of course, the people who are working in offices, they're going out, meeting people, facing all kind of situations and circumstances. And somehow I always say that it's okay to be angry, it's okay to be upset, it's okay to be frustrated, it's okay to be feeling really down at that point of time. What I say is, how long is the key. There comes the role of the self talk, which you can improvise with the process. You have to have some habits, which in your book also you're talking about, that we have to twist some of our habits where we can actually renew ourselves. To renew ourselves also, we have to go through a process, the way we went through a process to demean ourselves. So that is the thing. You're getting irritated with the result, you're getting irritated with the circumstances or the people, it's perfectly okay. But how long you're associated with that, that create the blockages. You won't believe, I met a very old person, retired person, and he told me that he remembers exactly what happened when he was 7 years old person, 7-year-old child. So imagine
Hmm.
that kind of memory bank we carry. And of course, he was not carrying a good memory about it at all. So that is the kind of memory bank we can carry maybe for 15, 20, 25 years. That
Hmm.
actually deprived, or uh, bring the self talk down. So if you have given 15, 20 years to your working on your you have developed those patterns and belief system which you are believing today, and if they are not serving you and you want to change it, then you have to have some kind of renewal system, change of habit in you, so that you can better yourself. It's a process, of course, it's a process.
So I'm not going to let you go off this show till you share with our viewers at least one of the practices that they can get started on. But before that, we have a question from Meenu, which I just put up. That how can one be energetic managing our 15-hour schedules? Now, Meenu is a corporate executive, homemaker, and she's got various other interests in juggling all of that in a 15-hour workday. and staying energetic. What's that you can recommend about that?
See, Meenu, there are a lot of practices we do. So I'll just tell you, share you one. I just share you one in case you want to know more about it. You can contact us later also. See, Sandeep, we sleep with lot of garbage. I think we most of us sleep with lot of garbage. We all have garbage bin in our houses, which we clean every day, but we generally don't clean this garbage. So it's a very beautiful practice which I have been doing, which has been taught by my Guruji to me. It's called catharsis. Meenu, for you especially, or for anybody who feels that you don't feel energetic, in the very next day when you get up in the morning, try to scribble out whatever has made you upset throughout the day. Don't write it. Scribble like a little baby, like a small baby. Scribble it and tear it off. The brain gets the proof that it is out of your system. And why we have to do this practice every day? If you remember, when we were practicing writing alphabets and number, we wrote it almost 200, 300 times to get our hands on it, right? Similar way, this process will help you immensely to, just throw everything out which is not serving you. And believe you me, 7 days of practice, you'll sleep like a baby. And otherwise you can just find more about it about catharsis, because the mind needs the proof that it is out of your mind. And better sleep means, of course, next morning you'll feel much much better and fresh, of course.
That's a fantastic tip, Kapila. Thanks. I completely endorse that, because the mind and the hands have this energetic connection. So that's why when a little child, your child, for example, gives you a little squiggly, you tend to preserve that. But if you found that sort of a squiggly available in the market, you probably wouldn't buy it. You know, because there's this energy of your child's hand that's gone into it, and enlivened that little piece of paper. In the reverse process, you just make those squigglies and drain out whatever is sapping you. And I would completely, because of this back end knowledge, endorse Kapila's belief that in 7 days you would wake up a lot more energetic. Awesome. Awesome. Then we have Kenna who's saying that thanks for sharing, Kapila. You cannot give what you don't have. Love yourself to love others. You want to love
Perfect.
everybody. You want to have a lot of self love. So true. So true. Absolutely. So we are. Uh, I mean, we can just go on this subject, but we are going to hold you to that. Give us one or two practices which anybody can do to, keep that state of renewal, not just in the night, but get the self talk organized. Let's say that's the one you started on. So how do one or two practices that would get that going for all of us?
See, Sandeep, I really vouch for the time you spend with yourself. Today in
Like
today's
she was saying, love yourself.
yeah, we call me time. So what is me time? Can we convert this me time into a meditation time? Over the period of time, I believe the connection we have with ourself has been, it's there is some problem in that connection. It's a problem we have in that connection, where we have stopped understanding our true nature. So if you sit in a meditation for even 10 minutes, and meditation is what? Just be in silence. Just be in silence for 10 minutes before starting your day, wherever you are. Wherever you are, maybe with music, without music, whatever way. Wherever you are, sit with yourself with closed eyes, be in silent, let the thoughts come. It's okay. Develop this connection with yourself. And secondly, what has brought change into my self talk is a practice of writing antidote. I won't be able to elaborate much about it, but I do write lot of antidote in case I feel there is some particular way I think about myself, and that always create that feeling of irritation, frustration about myself. I try to
Hmm.
write the reverse of it, and that's a
Okay.
beautiful exercise. I call mine tape recorder, Sandeep. It's taking the recording of everything you are talking and saying to yourself. So if I'm talking negative to about myself to Kapila, then why can't I talk positive about it and then record it in my mind? See, it's if everybody is my reflection, the way I look at myself, everybody would treat me the same. So try to create that reverse emotion, reverse of that feeling which puts you down, and be with yourself through meditation or pranayam. That really helps a lot.
Fabulous. So that's solidifying the connection. We have another viewer question here. Is a process of face it and let it go? Is there a process where you just face it and let it go?
See, again, a tool actually. This is a very wonderful tool, Sandeep. I speak loudly to myself. You know, in a room, I close myself. There is a connection between conscious and subconscious mind. The questions are in conscious mind. Uh, the answer is in the subconscious mind. So when I speak loudly, and when I say loudly means nobody should be around you, otherwise they'll feel that you're going insane. Just speak loudly to yourself. See, catharsis is one of the way talking, writing in a that mode where the answer, basically the things come out of your mind. However, speaking loudly is developing a connection between a conscious and a subconscious mind, because if there is a lock in your mind, the key is also there. It's not anywhere else. If you have stuck up somewhere, the answer is also within you. So this technique you can all use, that you speak loudly to yourself, and then you will definitely find the answer for what wherever you are stuck up.
Wow. In front of a mirror?
Wherever you are. Where mirror is
Okay.
of course always welcome, because then you're talking as a third party. You know, Kapila is talking to another Kapila. So that's another way. Otherwise, in a room or wherever you find a place. So the day I don't have anybody at home, I talk loudly. Maybe in a bathroom you can lock yourself, because it works fantastically. It works. It's a instant connection between your conscious and your subconscious mind.
Yeah. That's really interesting. So that guys was Kapila Taneja, and what she's been recommending is some of it is in this book, a lot of it wasn't. That's why we have these interviews every day, because we want you to understand how to just start rolling along the process of renewal and ask your questions. Be sure that you add your comments to this, your questions to this, because I and perhaps Kapila too will keep coming back, and we want to see that all these body mind spirit connections work for you. Meanwhile, grab a copy at renewalism.com and bookmark this page or subscribe to this page so that you keep getting notifications of our guests every evening 9 o'clock. Tomorrow we have just the reverse, because this subject is so integral to our renewal. Today we had a master. Tomorrow we're going to have a student, somebody just like you and me who has adopted these practices and in fact is a victor over cancer. She's a woman I really admire, and she's a blogger and a mom, and we're going to have a lot of fun with her because she's going to talk to us about how to adopt and integrate these practices into her life through her first-hand experience. So while Kapila goes and spreads the word about energy across the world and gets people to understand these modalities, it is my hope that you would also do that and get yourself powered with self knowledge from here and get started. So that said, join us tomorrow evening. But before you go, I'd like Kapila to share some final concluding thoughts with you so that you have some good dreams, some good catharsis, and a great start to tomorrow. Kapila.
Right. So first of all, I would love to mention about your book, Sandeep. I've not read the whole book, but whatever I could read, about the habits and all, I think you're bang on. You're bang on, Sandeep. And I'm not saying because you're there, because the content is very rich, Sandeep. The content is very simple and at the same time very rich. And as I shared with you before starting this, also, I think we all as human need to change something. We really need to change something to actually not to call this kind of calamity in near future. Otherwise we are actually getting ready for a bigger disaster also. So there is some internal changes we have to do, because this lockdown has brought some emotional, up and down also in our life. And I've been sharing this on many platform, that if something is not going right, it's an alarm that we need to change something. And I think today's world, the definition of happiness has changed for sure. First, happiness was all about having a big house, good job, big car, settled children, big business, all that. But today's one more element has been added to it, which is knowing your own self. which is very, very, very important. You call it spirituality, you call it practices, you call it meditation or anything. It all takes down to one point: knowing your own self, which is very, very, very important.
Know thyself. So nice. Well, thank you so much for that. Thanks, Kapila, for being here. Thank you, viewers. And we'll see you again tomorrow. So have a great night. Take care.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.